Hello everyone, so right now it's Wednesday. I just got home a few hours ago from being at my friend's house for a couple of days. I was planning to go to his house on Monday, but let's just say I had so many things to do that day, and plus, let's just say I couldn't really get a ride there until like 2 in the morning, so yeah, just did not end up as expected. But the good thing is that, like, actually, a few hours before I actually went to my friend's house, there was something I ran across, and it was just something that randomly showed up on suggestions or something like that on Amazon.com, and I ended up finding a boom stand, which is, it's kind of like a stage stand, except, even though it goes straight up, it has a part that's like at a really weird angle, and it's really useful for a lot of things. People use it for several things. What I'm going to be using it for, one of the things being, is that when I do my green screen videos, this will be a really great way for me to be able to make it so then I could actually talk directly into my microphone and get as close to my face as possible, because right now, as it is, I'm just putting my microphone stand, or, the little bitty stand that it comes with, on top of pretty much boxes stacked on top of each other. And sometimes I end up knocking down the boxes by accident and knocks down the microphone, and then I start getting nervous because I'm afraid one of these days I might end up getting a dent in it and breaking it. And the price on that microphone actually went up by quite a lot. So it's like, well, if it breaks, then I'm going to end up spending much more money than I usually would. But anyways, I saw a great sale. It was like $14.99 for the boom stand. So it's going to be really great to be able to get the microphone close to my face without it, getting in view of the camera when I'm doing regular videos, and also just great getting it close to my face when I'm standing up and doing green screen videos. But when I was at my friend's house, I will say that we got bored a couple times, much easier and quicker than usual, but it was still fun. It was still interesting, and it was, it's really great to, get out of the house sometimes, and one of the interesting things that happened is that we were playing video games, and one of the video games was one of those video games that just sold terribly, got terrible reviews and everything. But compared to most games, we actually ended up having a bit more fun, just because the way things that happen in that game, just sometimes, video games in general, they're not supposed to be 100% based upon reality. So some things just will not make sense. But some things about the game were interesting and just ended up I don't know, it ended up being fun. We ended up just laughing a lot, and we ended up having, more fun than actually expected. And this is one of those games that they were giving away for free for, members of Xbox Live Gold. So that's really nice, the fact that we didn't spend any money on that, we actually end up playing that, instead of the games we normally play. And one of my friends, he just got started into Cardfight Vanguard, and, we finally designed a deck for him where we got a really good idea of, like, what type of tribe or whatever he's going to be using that he's more familiar with, and that he could, probably use a lot better. And it's going to be really interesting to actually see, him actually card fight against us. I would say duel, but that's more like you. Like, it's interesting just because there's so many different terms, for different types of card games and stuff like that. And, we watched some of the show. He said he didn't like the show, as much as he expected, but, he still likes the card game a lot. And I must say, compared to Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's very simple. And it's very fun. It's really interesting. Once you learn the basics, it's very easy to understand and easy to play. And it actually turned out, like, the thing I like the most about it is the simple fact that compared to Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's not nearly as many complications, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of those things that there are so many variables and there's so many things that, this depends on this, and, oh, well, it's based upon what the card says. Well, it's like, well, this card says this, and but the rules say this, and just things are all over the place, especially since they change the rules sometimes, and some cards go on, from being, illegal in tournaments, and some of them being legal again, and some of them being limited, and just things change a lot. So there's a lot of variables, and it's just much more complicated, and it's just ever so changing. But Card Fight is just much more simple, and there's a lot less issues like that. I can't really say much else, where I was going, but I will say that even though there's a lot of things I want to do since I just got home, I'm going to go ahead and probably just, relax for the night, maybe do a couple of light tasks and some small, simple things, but I'm not going to really try to get any videos or any really, work done, because there's a lot of things, and I don't like using the word work with that, but I mean, sometimes it does seem like work, depending on what I'm talking about in particular, but the reason is just because I was starting to have a headache as soon as I got home, and I don't want to really force myself to get work done and end up making my headache worse. Because I've done that a couple times. I'm not going to lie, I've done that a couple times to myself, and I end up making my headache worse. And then the next day, my headache was even worse. Like, I didn't think it was possible, and then I couldn't get anything done the next day. It's like crap. And it'd be much better if I just, didn't do anything to really make it any worse, and hopefully my headache will heal by the morning. If not, then I'll try to take some medicine, and then hopefully that'll help overall. But, things are been pretty good, and I'm seeing a lot of things, really slow down on the channel. Some things are going pretty good. One of my friends, he's going to be doing a collaboration with me on the anime channel for the Q&A series of videos I'm going to be doing. And, you know, it's really cool to see that, you know, that's going to be something that we're both going to be able to do. So it's going to be really fun. And, you know, I mean, I'm really excited. I can't wait to start doing videos on the Jetix channel with the green screen effects and stuff like that, because I made some improvements on the outro, the background picture, the logo, and the text. I made it, you know, the style of the 2 rows of text actually in the exact same font type, which it's not just any font you can use. It's like, you know, you'd have to actually design the style of the text from scratch. But anyways, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I'm really excited to put into the next video, and seeing that the audio quality is going to be much better than it was before is really, really great overall. And since I, you know, have learned a lot about green screen effects, and I know a lot of tricks and things I can do to improve the quality significantly, is great. And honestly, the Jetix channel compared to the gaming channel and the other ones is the one I am much more passionate about, and the one I enjoy doing the most, because I've spent tens and tens and tens of hours on stuff for that channel, and I don't get a single dime out of it, but I absolutely enjoy it, and it's something that's well worth my time, even though it seems like it was just, you know, it only made a small difference. You know, it's still something, you know, I'm willing to do, and just, I don't know, I absolutely do love making videos on that channel, just for how great it's grown and how big of a community I've started, and it's really great. So I'm really excited to do the next video, but anyways, I'm going to try to stop it right here just because I've been yammering on, and man, this is supposed to be like a weekly video. But anyways, I want to let you guys know what I've been doing the last few days and stuff like that. So I think this kind of makes sense, making this kind of longer and extensive than usual, just because I was gone for a few days. But yeah, if there's anything that I forget, or if I want to go ahead and mention, then I'll probably record again. And by the way, I'm on my bed, in case you're wondering. And I'll probably, if it's something that I think that's worth mentioning or anything like that or talking about, then I'll go ahead and record a clip of it. So I guess I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey, what's up, guys? So right now it's Friday. It's like 3 or 4 p.m. Honestly, don't know what time it is. And Thursday was one of those days where I didn't really get much done, which I really feel bad about, but some of it was just because I was overly excited to get the boom stand for the microphone, and I was waiting very anxiously just to find out later that it wasn't going to ship until Friday, which is a very big disappointment because, you know, I got 2-day shipping on that product. I got Amazon Prime membership, and also I made the order on Monday. It was Monday night, but it wasn't an order sometime really late Tuesday or anything like that, because they do their shipping based upon, like, you know, within a certain time frame most of the time. As long as you order, like, let's just say before 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, then it will ship based upon as if you ordered that day. But if you order really late at night or something like that, it's going to, like, shift the, you know, the delivery or the shipping date estimate by one more day. And it acted as if I ordered on Tuesday, which makes sense because I ordered late on Monday. Well, what happens is that usually they have 2 different, like, times where, let's just say, a UPS will come in your area. They'll have one of them that comes early in the morning, and they'll have one that comes later in the day. So what's strange is that since I ordered early Monday, usually that means that they'll be able to, you know, get it ready for shipping much more quickly. Okay. So I expected it to at least be able to ship early this morning, just to later find out, and sorry for the airplane, I live by an airport, but just to find out that it's still not here. It's like, you know, it's like 3 or 4 p.m. and it's still not here, and it's Friday, because it was supposed to be here yesterday, which was Thursday, 8 p.m. at the latest, and it never came, and I waited so anxiously because I wanted to start using it in some videos, and honestly did not have very many video ideas, at least not for the gaming channel. Actually, there is at least one video that I do need to do, but I'm going to have to do something before I actually start on the video. But I'm waiting very anxiously, and I really hope it does get here, because these are the kind of things I usually don't get too upset about, but when it's at the point where it's just completely unreasonable, because I don't like to wait, you know, because, you know, this is a piece of equipment that I want to use right away on, you know, the videos I'm going to be doing. And plus, you know, the Jetix video itself is going to be time consuming just to edit, you know, at least it can be. And there's a lot of things I'm going to have to work on in order to get it perfect. You know, I'm going to have to put a logo in the corner, you know, for the channel. And also there's the outro. I need to make some little small, you know, changes on it. And I might have to, you know, render first the main video and then render the outro and then put them into the same project file on Sony Vegas and then render them as one. But anyways, so I really want to use this as soon as possible, but the fact that I'm having to wait so long really makes me upset. And yeah, hopefully it gets here very soon, but if not, then you guys already know that I'm going to be very upset. And if it actually doesn't get here today, then I'm definitely going to file a complaint, just because of the simple fact that if it doesn't get shipped today, it's likely not going to be shipped on the weekend because they only they only ship on weekdays, 9 times out of 10 that is. Not all the time, but most of the time they do. So if I end up having to wait till Monday, ooh, I'm going to lose my mind. And that means I'm going to have to delay the JetX video another week just because I'm only going to record that video with the boom stance and I can get the microphone close enough to my face when I'm standing up. But anyways, that's it for this. I'm just rambling on, so yeah. I guess you guys will find out if it got here in time or not. Well, anyways, guys, right now it's Saturday, and I know it's kind of late, but I wanted to go ahead and actually show you guys my microphone stand. Boom stand, it's actually called, but I want to go and show you guys what it actually looks like. Now, as you can tell, it's actually very close to my monitor and kind of in my way, at least, if I get close enough to my screen, depending on which angle I'm looking at it. And right there, like I said in the video, it actually is where it holds onto the cable right there, which is really nice. Keeps it from dragging and stuff. There's also the part down there that actually holds onto it, which right now I have it holding onto the USB extension cable because I'm having to use that on this microphone. And right now I have it aiming upside down just because it'll be much easier to be able to actually move this and tilt it so then I could actually get it aiming directly towards my mouth in case I end up having to hold this over my head or something like that, which will be really nice overall. And here is the pop filter. And there's the microphone itself. It's a USB microphone, of course. And it's doing really good so far. I will say, though, that when I have it extended pretty high up, and when it's sticking out that much, because it's kind of in the middle, I guess you could say it's leaning a little bit more towards there as far as like the length of this. And what happens is that even though there's like 3 legs, it will start shifting. Like right now I have this one leg right here, and I have to like angle it to where it's actually aiming in the same direction of this right here. It's not completely aligned with it, but it's pretty close. But let's just say if I had it aiming directly towards the camera right now, the stick right there, then what would happen is that it would actually lean forward and it would completely trip because it wouldn't be putting any pressure on anything. And by having that leg right there, then it keeps it from actually falling forward. So I have to do that, and I'm not sure if I'm actually going to keep it in this particular spot. I'm thinking about actually moving it over here. And the only reason I got it over here is because when I'm on my computer, whether I'm in Raid Call, Skype, or TeamSpeak, Google Hangouts, anything, by the way, I'm watching a live stream, usually I will be looking at my first monitor the most, the first and second. The third monitor is the one I look at the least. And because of that, I feel like if I put the microphone over here, I'll more likely be able to speak into it and people will be able to hear me much better. And there's my Logitech G13. I'm using that because it has programmable keys and I'm using them for shortcuts for, like, let's just say push to talk for both TeamSpeak and Raid Call and stuff like that. I'm thinking about actually moving it over here because if I have it over here, it'll be great when I do live streams, because if I happen to want to play a game on the console, the Xbox 360, then I'll be able to look over here and it'll be just a matter of just turning the microphone, over here. So then when I'm sitting, like, let's just say right here, then I'll be able to look at the TV, play a game on the console, and the microphone will be aiming directly towards me and I'll be able to pick up my voice very well. And if I just move it over here, then it should be able to pick it up. But the problem is I usually focus more over here and not the middle or right here as much. Sometimes the middle, but mostly on my first monitor. And the other problem is I feel like this is such a little cramped area right here that if I actually put the boom stand right there, it's more likely to hit the TV or the wall, at least the back end of the stick right there. And it might be a little bit harder to actually be able to manage. And I feel like the only way I'm able to actually be able to get it close enough to my mouth is if I actually put it over the monitor and probably closer to the middle right there, which is really going to get in the way. And over here, even though it's kind of in the way, as you can tell from this angle, I could see that monitor perfectly fine. And it's only slightly in the way, but I mean, for the most part it isn't, and I could talk directly into it really well and people could hear me very clearly, whether I'm just chatting or talking, or if I'm recording, let's just say, a commentary or a how-to tutorial or anything really. So it's a really good place right now, but I'm not quite sure. I might end up actually moving it, but anyways, yeah, I'm probably going to cut it right here just because I'm yammering on for way too long. But if I do find a better place to put it, then I'll probably record and give you guys an update. Hey, what's up, guys? Right now it's actually Monday morning, even though this is going to be the last segment for the weekend vlog. But let's just say it was a very busy night and Sunday, and when I say, like, you know, my day was this, I'm talking as if it's Sunday, even though it's technically Monday in the morning, it's really early in the morning. But Sunday was actually a pretty good day. I watched a couple live streams, I hung out with a couple of people. I didn't spend too much time on that. I finally got the JetX video taken care of, but I will say the editing part ended up taking much more time than expected, just because even though there was a couple of things that I actually learned, there was a couple of things that I actually ended up, let's just say, having to relearn simply because I fell on the same track, made the same mistakes, and because of that, I end up just going through the whole thing again and just going through infinite loops trying to figure out, like, oh god, I thought it was like this. And it's just because there's so many steps as to how I do the green screen effects videos, at least, you know, in the way I do it, it's very easy to get off track, you know, especially when you're trying to keep track of every single step, and then, you know, when you try to do it again, it end up going into a train wreck. So I'm going to try to keep it very simple. I'm going to try to figure out exactly how I need to do it, because there's a couple of different ways with slightly different results. I need to find the absolute best one, try to make it very simple, and keep it very, you know, just as very limited and very simple as possible, and try to actually probably write it down just for in case. So then that way, when I do these green screen videos, which I am going to be doing more often, this way it will end up taking so many hours. So I just literally got done with it. And I must say, I'm still very happy with the results overall. Now, when it comes to, like, doing videos like this that end up taking hours and hours of my time, one of the things I like to do to, let's just say, get myself in a really positive mood and get myself very motivated and just keep on going forward, and to also just keep my mind going, and just keep myself from getting sleepy and that kind of stuff. Because if I'm going to spend a lot of time on editing and that kind of stuff, well, let's just say I don't want to make, you know, myself get sleepy and then, like, oh, it's okay, I'll just finish editing in the morning, and then I end up sleeping really, you know, late, or waking up really late, and then it's like, oh man, I gotta record these videos, but I have to finish these videos and edit them. So it ends up just making it take so much time if I do things that way. So the way I usually try to keep myself, you know, awake and motivated and keep myself from getting sleepy and a positive attitude overall is actually quite simple. There's a few things I do, and one thing in particular is listen to music. Now, there's actually a favorites list of very specific music that I usually listen to, just because I know that they really get me motivated and just really in a positive mood, and, you know, it's really hard for me to, let's just say, fall asleep to them. And I'm not saying they're, like, super loud or hardcore or anything like that, but I mean, it's, you know, just, there are certain types of things, you know, like music that can really, you know, change you mentally or emotionally and stuff like that. And I think it's really positive to listen to, at least as long as you listen to the right music at the right time. It can really, really help you, especially in a moment like that where, you know, let's just say for that video, I ended up spending several hours on just editing that video. Now, I will say, though, that I was very happy with the results at the very end. It was extremely well worth it. And even though there was a couple of shortcomings here and there, it was nothing major. It's not like, you know, let's just say it's like a 10. It's not like one side is leaning on the other. There's a couple of holes on each side, but for the most part, it's holding itself up and it's not collapsing or even anywhere close to it. So it was really great overall. There's a couple things I am going to have to improve on, and I know exactly what they are. So I'm going to have to do a lot of experimenting, and I'm going to have to spend a lot of time actually doing these videos. But since I'm going to be doing them more often, it's something for me to look very, very forward to. So I'm really happy overall. I'm in a great mood. And let's just say I basically tweeted out on my main channel or Twitter account saying, that moment when you have a nerdgasm after watching your own video. Now, I don't like using that term, but let's just say when it comes to JetX and just, you know, how passionate I am about it and how much I enjoy and absolutely love it, you know, it's enough to, you know, just like, you know, just get that really great feeling and everything. And just, you know, like I said, you know, I had a nerdgasm literally right after watching the video, and I was like, oh, I love this video. I can't wait to share it, you know, and upload it and everything. Now, I'm going to have to spend a lot of time on editing and the description and annotation. Actually, a few of them, including in the outro and that kind of stuff. But, I mean, other than that, once I'm done, I'm going to be really happy. And I'm actually going to have to edit this video very, very soon, probably while it's actually uploading. So it's a really great week. I'm looking very forward to this upcoming week. There's a lot of things I really want to do, and there's a lot of video ideas that I have for all the channels, and I'm looking forward to doing them all. And I love the fact that I have so much variety. It makes it really hard for me to get bored of the same thing. So by doing this kind of thing, I can find the right videos at the right time. And, you know, it's really hard to get sick of the same thing. And, you know, I'm looking very forward to just doing more videos, not just on the JetX channel, but on all of them. And you know, I just love it when I get excited and really happy, and I get motivated, and I'm just in a really positive mood, you know, because it makes it really exciting and a really great thing to make videos. And it's just, it makes it really enjoyable overall. But anyways, I'm going to stop babbling right now. I'm looking very forward to the next week, and I guess I'll see you guys next week.